let's look at this assignment where we're going to put clearances and fits onto our 3 parts for our caster axle. Here's what the assignment looks like. So it says open this drawing, blah blah blah. Here are 3 parts, and the shaft and the bushing have a running clearance fit of RC7, and they start with a diameter of 3/4 of an inch, although that may change. Then the bushing and the hub have an interference fit of FN1, and they start with a nominal diameter of 1, although that may change. So let's go open this drawing, clearances and fits. There it is. We'll open that drawing. And when it opens, you'll see, oh, these are already drawn and some stuff is labeled, so part of your work is done. You just need to look up what these tolerances are going to be. So let's go to model space here. Here are our parts. Now our shaft, our bolt thing, is going to fit into the hole in the bushing with an RC7 running clearance fit. How do we put tolerances on here once you've looked them up? So you are going to need 4 different dimension styles. Let's go look those up. So in the Annotate tab, over here under Dimensions, there's how to get to the dimension styles, or you can type dim style if you prefer. Now, we are not modifying these things because we're going to have 4 different styles, so we're going to need a new style. What should we call it? You could put the numbers for the tolerances that you look up in here. I kind of like to do that. Or you could write, this is the shaft, running clearance 7. I guess I'll write that. Continue. Okay. So now, what do? We are wanting to change our tolerances, so looking at the tabs across the top, we see, oh, we'd better go to the Tolerances tab. And now let's just work methodically from top to bottom. Method. Right now the method is none, and you can see in the preview screen it's just a plain old dimension. We want the limits version. Now you can see the preview screen changed. What if let's see, what do we want? What if our shaft were going to stay at 3/4, be 3/4, and then minus 2.5 thousandths, let's say. Oh, I'm just making up a number. Okay. I don't need to fool with the zeros here. This will be fine. Okay. I think I'll say OK and go see what happens. Now this is going to be my current style, and I will move this dimension onto the, let me go to my dimension panel here, and I will choose the shaft RC style. Okay. I've got a couple of problems. First of all, what is that leading 0 doing there? And second of all, how come some of my numbers are missing? We'd better go back to the dimension style and see what's happening. So we'll go modify this new style we created and see what's wrong. Tolerances. So first of all, check this out. At the bottom of this Tolerances panel, that's where we have to click suppress leading 0. See how it says 0 suppression leading? We have to check that. It doesn't happen automatically. Okay, so there's that. Now, we also failed to set our precision. So here in this line, we were at 3 decimal places. Let's change it to 4 decimal places. And now let's tell it OK, and let's go see what's happening. Oh, looky there. These are not the right numbers. I'm just making stuff up to demonstrate. So there's my style for that one. Let's make up a different style to go with this one. What do you want to do? I think I will use the style I just created to make my new style, so maybe I won't have to set as many things. New, this one is going to be the whole, whole for the RC7. Okay, so good. My suppress leading 0 is set, and my precision is not set. Better set my precision. Now, here's the problem. What if, you know, I should have demonstrated on the shaft. I wasn't thinking. What if the tolerances that you look up say minus something else? Well, let's try that. Let's say we have to do minus, I don't know, make something up, 1 and minus something. And this is not going to work. I just want to show you that it's not going to work. So here's my new style that is bad. And this is the current dimension style. And I will change this dimension here to that new style I just made. I tried to put a minus number and a minus number in there, and it did not work. It did not work because, let's go back to our dimension style. When it says upper value and lower value, it means upper value is what's going to get added, lower value is what's going to get subtracted. So it does not know what to do with minus numbers. It just knows when you put something in the lower value, it's going to subtract that. When you put something in the upper value, it's going to add that. So let's go see what our pretend dimension looks like now. Something is wrong again because we don't have our precision set. Precision. I think I'm going to go to my primary units and set my precision there too, just to be safe. So I've got it set there and there. Precision 4 decimal places. Here's my upper value. I'm pretending that I'm adding 1/10 of a thousandth, and I'm pretending that I'm subtracting 2.5 thousandths. We'll just see what that does. All right. Now look what it did. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. It added 1/10 of a thousandth, and it subtracted 2.5 thousandths. So when you are drawing these, let's do another one. What if the shaft, when you look up your tolerances for the shaft, what if it says your tolerances are minus one number minus a bigger number? So let's say, what can we say? my text will be minus 010 and minus 0002. So those are the tolerances I looked up. I'm going to start with a nominal size of 3/4 of an inch, but then let's say my chart said I'm going to be smaller. Both limits dimensions are going to be smaller. I'm just making up a number. So if I go to my dimension style, go back to my shaft thing, there is no way to put a -1 and a -2 in this thing here. As we saw before, that is nonsensical to AutoCAD. It won't know what to do. So what do I do if the chart tells me that both my upper and lower values are going to be minus something or other? What I have to do is I have to draw this thing at a smaller size. I would have to draw this at 0.749. Let me do that. I'm going to move this thing, am I? Do I know what I am doing? I'm going to offset this thing. This thing 1/1000th of an inch, because that's my pretend number. So I'm going to offset that down. Okay, and then I'm going to go in here and delete my bigger shaft diameter. So there, now I've made a shaft that's a tiny bit smaller. And now I'm going to put my dimension on my tiny bit smaller. Let's see if this works. So I drew my shaft 1/1000th of an inch smaller. Now, when I go into my tolerance, I could tell it, if these are my limits, I could tell it shaft, I want my upper value to be plus nothing, and my lower value to be minus 0.02. Now let's see what happens. And I want my shaft to be the current style. And I failed to set my precision because I was being a bozo. Okay. So now I drew my shaft at the smaller size to start with, 0.749. And now when I put my limits tolerances into my dimension style, I could say plus nothing minus 0.02, and it will spit out the correct numbers. Again, these are not the right numbers for you. I'm just saying, just for example, here's what we could do. Let me know if you have questions. I feel like this was a little bit muddled.